Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. Bob has been on hold for way too long, and I appreciate him staying with us. Hey, Bob, you still there?
I am here.
Okay, I appreciate your patience because it's an important subject. Let's talk about it. What's on your mind?
Well, I was listening to your guest host earlier, and I apologize, I can't remember his name.
Oh, it's Chris Serino.
Yeah, and he made a statement that was rather disturbing when he talked about training civilians as well as police officers, and he said people like to shoot people with guns. Police like to shoot people with guns. I almost wrecked my truck when I heard that. I've been in law enforcement for 30 years. I still train law enforcement, not in the use of firearms, but I've never, ever met one police officer who said, I like to shoot people. And I thought if I was a plaintiff's attorney in a lawsuit, he would be my best witness.
Well, Chris has trained an awful lot of cops, and I know what he was saying. He just didn't say it very elegantly. What he was trying to say is, people will shoot other people with guns. It's not like they enjoy it, but they are willing to shoot. If a cop rolls up on a situation and there's a guy with a gun there and there's a dead body there, the cop is going to be willing to shoot the guy who is carrying the gun. But I think it was a very inelegant way to say it. And I'm sure if Chris had a chance to do it all over again, instead of being in the heat of doing it live, he would have rephrased that.
Well, like he said, people get jacked up when things are happening live, and yes, I will grant him it's probably just a poor choice of words. But what you just said though is critically important. Yes, police show up and they see somebody with a gun, and in this case in Colorado, absolutely tragic. But I don't know the circumstances. I'm not second guessing or armchair quarterbacking anything, but still have a responsibility to announce and give commands, short of somebody directing fire right at them. And in this day and age, you know how many guns are on the street with law-abiding citizens.
Right.
And we know a lot of people have guns, and most people are law-abiding. So we have an obligation, just like happened with the Breonna Taylor case. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether the police announced or not, but if they go in and you're facing gunfire, we have that obligation to tell people we're the police, hands in the air, on the ground, drop the gun, whatever it happens to be.
And
I'm already firing on us.
And you got to know that's going to be examined carefully. I mean, I don't know if you got a chance to see the video of the sheriff there, Arvada County Sheriff, talking about it, and he was just distraught over the good guy getting killed, and then he's worried about obviously his officer, and they're going to investigate it and look at it, but it may be, just as you said, you get so jacked up, you come roaring in there hot, and there's a guy with a gun, and you forget your training, and you forget, that there are good guys with guns, and you just smoke him, and there we go. There will be lessons learned from this.
Sure, always should be.
And exactly. So like I say, we examine every plane crash to find out what happened and what can we learn from it. Same deal here, both on the police training side and on the civilian side. Let me ask you a question. In police training, and I don't know when it was, how long it's been since you went through the academy.
Been a while.
I wonder if today, given how many people are legally carrying guns, do they spend much time on the fact that a lot of the people who are not lawbreakers are carrying guns? You're going to run into a lot of people with guns.
Well, I couldn't answer to that because I'm not involved in the academy training right now, and I'd hate to say something. If they're not, they should. Mm-hmm. But as we see in so many places now, good quality gun ranges, gun stores that also provide training, that should be part of it. That if you are involved in a situation and you use your gun, you need to anticipate the police coming and being there, and all they're going to see is a man or woman with a gun. You need to be, if the threat is eliminated, you almost need to consider putting yourself in the prone position until they get. And that should be training given to all civilians who decide to carry concealed or open carry, whatever the law is in your state. That these are some of the things you have to consider. And your one caller just before you went off the air that talked about, I carry a weapon to protect my family. I'm not sure I'm going to get involved in this other stuff. And his call. His call.
And nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm going to protect my own, and and as somebody else said, and be a good witness. That's what, I'm retired, and that's what I try to do. My inner me, my youth wants to jump into the fray, but what I need to do to the degree I can is be a good witness. But if things turn south and go as bad as they could, then I'll get involved.
Yeah, and it's a sliding scale, and you don't know where you're going to be on any given day, what's going to happen. And the other thing is, if you decide to get involved, you got to remember, where was it? I think it may have been Colorado, in the Walmart, where there was a guy shooting up a Walmart, a good guy sneaks up, shoots, or is going to shoot the bad guy, and turns out the bad guy has got an outlier. His girlfriend is slipping back behind him and comes up behind the concealed carry guy and shoots him in the back of the head and kills him. Mm-hmm. You don't know how many there are out there.
Yep. Well, I think a lot of folks like me who are retired, they say it gets in your blood, and it certainly does. And I still, like I said, I train law enforcement officers, not in the use of firearms, but still involved in it, and did a lot of work in the Denver area over the years. I may personally know the sheriff over there. I can't really tell. It's been probably 10 years since I did a lot of work in the Denver area with Arvada and Denver PD, all those agencies, and Aurora. A lot of good folks over there. A lot of good folks.
And if you want to, it's available actually on YouTube. The sheriff just speaking to the camera and talking about what happened, and also they included a video clip, security camera video clip of this guy slipping up on the officer, and then they break just as he shoots him. But you can see what he did. I mean, it was just cold-blooded murder. That's all it was.
Well, we've got people out there who want to do that to cops. It's a crazy time right now. I admire the men and women who are doing this job and still stick with it. I turned it over to the young ninjas. I think they're the ones that need to be doing it. But they're still my brothers.
Hey, Bob, look, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service in law enforcement. We appreciate and for understanding what, like I said, I think Chris just had a slip of the tongue. He probably would have rephrased that. I mean, I don't know.
Forgiving soul.
There you go. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that.